Assalamu alaikum dear students. In this lecture we are going to study about cohesive devices. So cohesive devices, the concept of cohesive devices is very important in the composition writing, basically the English composition writing, because when a writer is composing anything, any letter, any piece of writing, so if the writer do not know about the cohesive devices and how to use them effectively, the writer would not produce that material in an effective way. So in this lecture we are going to study about the cohesive devices. So the lecture outline is we are going to get the introduction to cohesive devices. We are going to study about the importance of cohesive devices, and then we are going to study the different types of cohesive devices. So let's begin towards the lecture. Human beings use language to communicate with each other and to represent their ideas or thoughts. Communication can be in the form of written as well as spoken discourse. What is discourse? Any piece of writing, any written or spoken material we speak or either we write is a discourse. To do all this they use one or more word and more than one sentence. So for human language, human beings use the language to communicate. So how they communicate? So this may be either in the written form or in the oral form. So composition writing is what? The writer is actually communicating with the audience, with the one who reads his or her writing, his or her written material. So what they do, how they do write, they use one or more word or more than one sentence. The wide range of sentences can be used as a unified whole or separate unrelated sentences. In this way they produce long text. How the writers produce long text? They write a wide range of sentences, or like a unified sentences or unrelated sentences. For example, if I am going to write on noise pollution, the unified sentence is what? The sentences are all about the noise pollution. Or if I am writing on more than one topic, like on noise pollution, on electricity shortage in Pakistan, on CPAC together, so I may write one thing with the unified whole, as a unified whole with the range of sentences, and we write the other things in unrelated sentences. So it is the choice of the writer to write on either one theme or to write on either different themes. So what is cohesive device? Cohesive device is a device which holds different parts of a thing together. So cohesive device is actually basically related to cohesion. What is cohesion? I have explained you earlier that in composition the cohesion of ideas, the unity of the ideas is very important. If I am talking about the disadvantages of mobile phones, and I immediately start writing about the advantages of Coca-Cola, that would totally be a weird piece of writing. There will be no cohesion in my piece of writing. So what is the cohesive device? The cohesive devices are the ones, or are the tools, through which are the ways by using them we create cohesion in our piece of writing. In terms of communication, cohesive devices are typically single words. They may be either single words or phrases that hold and hang different parts of the text. These are basically tools of cohesion. So what I told you earlier, that these are basically the tools, the ways through which we create the unity, the cohesion in our piece of writing. What is its function? The major function of cohesion is text formation. Helps in achieving unity of text as a semantic whole. What is semantic whole? Like a complete a material which is conveying a complete thought. What text? Unity of text, a unified whole of linguistic items. Like if I am writing on noise pollution, so that is a text, consists of unified whole of linguistic items. A text must be meaningful, so a text that is not cohesive is never meaningful. They show the logical relationship between sentences and paragraphs. This means the function of the cohesive devices. What they do show the logical relationship between the sentences and the paragraphs. They help expand the context, such as whether information is completely new or related to information in other sentences, or is a reference to old information from a previous sentence, or it improved reading and comprehension skills. This is actually the function of the cohesive device. Now we are going to study the importance. Without them, means the cohesive devices, the semantic system cannot be effectively activated at all. What is the semantic system? How meaning in language is created by the use and interrelationship of words, phrases, and sentences. Like without cohesive devices, a writer cannot convey the meaning of the topic properly. So cohesive devices are very important in conveying of meaning. It links together structurally unrelated elements through the dependence of one on the other for its interpretation. For example, Aslam is an intelligent boy. So if I am going to write on Aslam, I write Aslam is an intelligent boy. He always stands first in class. He is holding two sentences together. So he here is holding two sentences together. So he is the cohesive device. He is referring back to Aslam, telling about the Aslam. Aslam is an intelligent boy. He always stands first in class. So he is that cohesive device which is actually creating a cohesion in the two sentences, that the communication is about Aslam. Mary will jump if she is fit. Now she is a cohesive device. Without she, the sentence would not be appropriate. She is referring back to Mary. Mary will jump if she is fit. The company will change its policy. Aisha wants to know if her proposal was accepted. Cohesive devices may take a number of forms, that is pronouns, nouns, and conjunctions. So without these cohesive devices, the writer cannot convey the complete or proper meaning in an effective way. Like if I write, Aisha wants to know if proposal was accepted. Was it conveying a complete meaning? The readers may develop many questions that which proposal, whose proposal. So her here, the cohesive device her is showing that it's talking about the Aisha's proposal. Aisha wants to know if her proposal was accepted. So it's giving a clear, complete meaning that the sentence is about Aisha. Now the examples. Numerous words are considered cohesive devices in the English language. For example, however, in conclusion, basically, at last, eventually, after all, rarely, normally, at first, often, further, and firstly. Each of the above examples can be used to start a sentence to link together the sentences or story. So, in story or in any essay, we may add cohesion by using such cohesive devices, such as we say in conclusion or however or basically. So these words are actually used to create cohesion in the unity in the piece in any piece of writing. Now we are going to study about what are the types of cohesive devices, that what are different types that the writers may use to create cohesion in their piece of writing. Sentences that are presented as a whole are linked and related to each other by means of specific cohesive devices. What are they? First one is reference. Second one is substitution. Third one is ellipses, conjunctions, and lexical items. So we are going to study one by one that what are these. Reference. Reference is used to describe the different ways in which entities, things, people, events are referred to within texts. Linguistic features, for example, pronouns, are used to refer to the already mentioned entities. Like pronoun in the previous example, Aisha wants to know if her proposal was accepted. So her, the pronoun her, is a cohesive device that we termed as a reference, which is referring back to Aisha and giving a reference to the already mentioned entity. Certain terms in any language cannot be interpreted semantically, rather they make reference to something else within the text for their interpretation. So without giving the reference in a sentence, some things may not yet be interpreted. If we do not use her in that sentence, if we haven't used that her, the pronoun her in that sentence, the readers would not be able to get the idea that about whose proposal the sentence is about. So this is basically the reference. For example, Sarah went to the market in rain. She stepped in puddle and never went there again. So here she is a reference for Sarah and there is a reference for market. Already mentioned entities are the Sarah and the market. Sarah went to the market in rain. She stepped in puddle. Who stepped? Sarah stepped in puddle and never went there again. So there is referring back to the market. So this is the reference which is provided by the cohesive devices to create a cohesion in the sentences. She and there show that the information about them is retrieved some elsewhere within the text. This type of cohesion is called reference. What are the types? We have personal reference, that is I, me, mine, his, her, they, them, he, she, you, we, us, and etc. Demonstrative reference, this, these, that, those, here, there. It is a form of pointing that referent on the basis of proximity, that is near or far. Leave that there and come here. So there and here are showing the position of nearness and farness. Like leave that there, there means something is far, and come here, come means here means too close, come near. I like these books, but I don't like those. So these is pointing towards referring to the books which are near, which are at present, which are means near to the one, to the subject I, and those are far to the subject. Then we have the comparative reference. Here things compared show likeness or unlikeness. It is the same pen I bought yesterday. So It is the same pen I bought yesterday. It is different pen from one I bought yesterday. There are twice as many books there as the last time. Take some more tea. It's a particular comparison. Anaphoric reference. Anaphoric reference means that a word in a text refers back to other ideas in the text for its meaning. So this is the general reference which I talked earlier, that the pronoun she refers back to Aisha. I went out with Joe on Sunday. I went out with Joe on Sunday. Joe is a female. She looked awful. So she is referring to Joe back. She clearly refers to Joe. There is no need to repeat her name. Means there is no need to write the sentence in a way, I went out with Joe on Sunday. Joe looked awful. So she is a reference for Joe, and that kind of reference is termed as anaphoric reference. Now we have cataphoric references. Cataphoric reference means that a word in a text refers to another later in the text, and you need to look forward to understand. So, for example, like the pronoun, the reference is given before, and you need to look forward in the sentence to understand what does that pronoun is referring to. When he arrived, John noticed that the door was open. So he is actually a reference for John. In anaphoric reference, the pronoun used is referring back to the word that is used previously. And in cataphoric is the opposite of anaphoric. The pronoun or the cohesive device used is before that thing to which it is referring. Axophoric reference. Axophoric reference refers to an idea outside the text. This is a reference to world knowledge shared by the reader. Example, the Prime Minister responded quickly to the threat. Here we are expected to know who the Prime Minister is. So no knowledge, no reference is given within the text, but we have the reference is towards outside the text. Like if we are in Pakistan, the sentence or the writer is writing in the Pakistan, writing about the Pakistani Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister responded quickly to the threat. So we get the reference towards Prime Minister, whom in today's the current Prime Minister is Imran Khan. So our reference goes towards the Imran Khan. So this kind of reference is axophoric reference. Now substitution, another cohesive device. What it is? It is replacement of one linguistic item by another, that is replacement of one word or phrase with another word or phrase. It is used to avoid repetition of a particular item, something you use instead of the thing you would normally use. For example, the glass broke, I must get another. You know, she already know this. I think everybody does. So the glass broke, I must get another. So the word another is used for a substitution for a glass. The glass broke, I must get another. Another is a substitution for the word glass to avoid the repetition of a particular item. I will have 2 eggs on the bread. The second person says I will have the same. So means I will have the same means I will have 2 eggs on the bread. So the same cohesive device is used as a substitute for the 2 eggs on the bread. I don't know the meaning of those words, and I don't believe you do either. Is this mango ripe? It seems so. Ellipsis, another cohesive device. It is the deletion or omission of a linguistic item. It can be interpreted as that form of substitution in which an item is replaced by nothing, an occasion when words are deliberately left out of a sentence, though the meaning can still be understood. So in this, some items are deleted. Let's take an example. Leaving out of words or sentences as they are necessary because they have already been referred or mentioned. Where are you going? To town, instead of I am going to town. Like, where are you going? The person may say to town, or instead of saying a proper sentence, I am going to town. So this is the omission of I am going. Have you been swimming? The answer is yes. And what is the omission? Yes, I have been swimming. But instead of yes, I have been swimming, the answer is only yes, which is already mentioned that the question is about swimming, so answer is only yes. So this is the deletion of some linguistic items. Conjunction. A word which joins words and sentences such as but, when, and, so, or, unless, etc. Causal relations expressed by so, hence, therefore, thus. Temporal relations expressed by then. So all the conjunctions are also cohesive devices. So they are actually connecting the sentences. They are actually connecting the cohesion between the sentences. Lexical cohesion. Lexical cohesion is established through vocabulary, while reference, ellipses, and conjunction tend to link clauses which are near each other in the text. Lexical cohesion tends to link much larger parts of the text. Lexical cohesion is created by reiteration and collocation. So, which is lexical cohesion is created by two steps, that is reiteration and collocation. What is reiteration? It involves the repetition of the same word. It is the use of a synonym or a near synonym or a general word. Like instead of using the same word, we use a synonym or a nearly synonym instead of repeating the same word again and again. Like there is a boy climbing that tree, the boy is going to fall, the lad is going to fall, the idiot is going to fall. So see how the words are used for the boy. The first one is boy, the second is lad, the third is idiot. This is the avoidance of this is the lexical cohesion. Like it is reference to that boy, but the synonyms are used to avoid the repetition of the same word. Collocation. We have studied earlier as well what are the collocation. It is the way in which particular words tend to occur or belonging together. Like we not normally say I drink tea, we say I am taking tea or we take tea. We cannot say handsome girl, we normally say pretty girl and handsome boy. We cannot say normally that pretty boy. So this is the lexical cohesion. So this is all about today's lecture. We have studied the introduction about cohesive devices, its importance, and what is the purpose, what is the function of cohesive devices, and we have studied different types of cohesive devices which are very necessary for any writer to write, to compose any piece of writing in an effective way. These are the references. You can take guide from these references, or you yourself can Google from the internet about the cohesive devices in detail to get the more idea about the cohesive devices. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.